From the soaring Eiffel Tower to the ancient Roman ruins scattered across Gaul, France's story is etched into its very landscape. This is a tale of tribes and empires, of saints and revolutionaries, a journey through 1,000 years of history that shaped not just a nation, but the world. Let's rewind the clock and explore the epic history of France. Our story begins in the turbulent aftermath of the Roman Empire's fall. The region known as Gaul was a mosaic of competing tribes. But one man would change everything. In 496 AD, Clovis I, king of the Salian Franks, made a pivotal decision. His baptism into Catholicism wasn't just a personal act of faith, it was a masterstroke of political genius. It unified the disparate Frankish tribes under a single banner and a single religion, laying the very first stone in the foundation of what would become France. The Merovingian dynasty he founded marked the birth of a new kingdom from the ashes of the old world. Centuries later, another monumental figure would rise from this Frankish kingdom, Charlemagne, or Charles the Great. He was more than a king. He was a visionary, a warrior, and a reformer. On Christmas Day in the year 800, Pope Leo III crowned him Emperor of the Romans, reviving the idea of a unified Christian empire in the West. The Carolingian Empire stretched across much of Western Europe, a beacon of stability and learning in a dark age. Charlemagne's reign sparked a cultural revival, a renaissance before the Renaissance, as he promoted education, standardized laws, and fostered a new European identity. Though his empire would eventually fracture, his legacy was indelible. The idea of a strong, unified realm would echo through the centuries. As the Carolingian Empire dissolved, a new social and political order emerged: feudalism. The land was a patchwork of territories ruled by powerful lords, dukes, and counts. In an era of constant raids and instability, protection was paramount. Massive stone castles began to dot the landscape, not just as homes, but as fortresses, symbols of power and defense. Society was rigidly structured. Peasants worked the land in exchange for protection from their lord, who in turn pledged loyalty and military service to a higher noble, all the way up to the king. This system, while creating a fragmented map, also forged deep ties of loyalty and obligation that defined medieval life. The High Middle Ages saw the French monarchy slowly but surely consolidate its power, often through strategic marriages, political maneuvering, and warfare. The Capetian dynasty proved remarkably stable, producing an unbroken line of kings for over 300 years. Paris grew into a bustling center of commerce and learning, home to one of the world's first universities. Gothic cathedrals, like the magnificent Notre Dame, reached for the heavens, testaments to both faith and engineering prowess. But this period of growth would soon face its greatest trial. In the 14th century, a dynastic dispute with England spiraled into a devastating conflict, the 100 Years' War. For generations, France was ravaged by battles, famine, and plague. The English won stunning victories at Crécy and Agincourt, and it seemed as though the French kingdom might collapse entirely. Then, at France's darkest hour, a new, unlikely hero emerged. A teenage peasant girl from a small village who claimed to hear divine voices. Her name was Joan of Arc. Her conviction and charismatic leadership inspired the demoralized French army. She famously lifted the siege of Orleans, turning the tide of the war. Though she was eventually captured and executed, her martyrdom galvanized the French spirit. She became a national symbol of courage and resistance, and her legacy helped forge a true sense of French national identity. Following the turmoil of the Middle Ages, France entered a period of extraordinary cultural and artistic rebirth, the Renaissance. Inspired by the rediscovery of classical Greek and Roman knowledge flowing in from Italy, French art, architecture, and literature flourished. Kings like Francis I became great patrons, inviting artists like Leonardo da Vinci to their courts. The Loire Valley became adorned with elegant chateaux, blending late Gothic structures with classical Italian motifs. This was an age of intellectual curiosity and artistic innovation that left an indelible mark on the French soul. This cultural blossoming coincided with the rise of absolute monarchy. The idea that the king held total, divine power reached its zenith with one monarch in particular, Louis XIV, the Sun King. His famous declaration, "L'état, c'est moi, I am the state," perfectly captured his philosophy of rule. To showcase his unrivaled power and the glory of France, he transformed a humble hunting lodge into the most magnificent palace in Europe, Versailles. This opulent complex became the center of political and cultural life. Its lavish halls, gilded rooms, and sprawling gardens were a stage for intricate court rituals, all designed to revolve around the king, just as the planets revolved around the sun. Under his long reign, France became the dominant political and cultural power in Europe. But beneath the glittering surface of Versailles, discontent was brewing. Decades of extravagant spending, costly wars, and a rigid social structure that placed the entire tax burden on the common people created a powder keg of resentment. By the late 18th century, Enlightenment ideas about liberty, equality, and the rights of man had captured the public imagination. The fuse was lit. On July 14, 1789, an angry Parisian mob stormed the Bastille, a medieval fortress used as a state prison. This act symbolized a direct attack on the king's authority and ignited the French Revolution. Shortly after, the National Assembly issued the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, a revolutionary document proclaiming that all men were born free and equal in rights. The old order was shattered forever. The revolution descended into a period of radical change and violence known as the Reign of Terror. But from this chaos, another towering figure emerged, Napoleon Bonaparte. A brilliant and ambitious general, Napoleon seized power in a coup d'etat and brought stability back to a fractured nation. In 1804, in a stunning display of self-made power, he took the crown from the Pope's hands and crowned himself Emperor of the French. He reformed the legal system with the Napoleonic Code, which influences civil law jurisdictions to this day. His military genius led the French Grand Army to conquer most of Europe, spreading the ideals of the revolution, whether the conquered wanted them or not. His ambition ultimately led to his downfall, but his impact on France and the world was monumental. The 19th and early 20th centuries were a time of change and turmoil for France, cycling through monarchies, republics, and another empire. The Industrial Revolution transformed its cities, while it built a vast colonial empire across the globe. Then came the cataclysms of the World Wars. France was a central battleground in World War I, suffering staggering losses in the brutal trench warfare of the Western Front. A generation was lost. Just 2 decades later, the country faced the humiliation of swift defeat and occupation in World War II. But again, the French spirit of resistance endured. The French resistance, a network of brave men and women, fought a shadow war against the occupiers, embodying the nation's refusal to surrender. From the ashes of the war, another strong leader emerged to guide the nation. Charles de Gaulle, who had led the Free French forces from exile, returned as a national hero. Facing political instability, he established the Fifth Republic in 1958, creating the strong presidential system that governs France today. He navigated the difficult process of decolonization and restored France's position as a major player on the world stage. Today, France is a vibrant, modern nation. From the high-fashion runways of Paris to the cutting-edge aerospace industry in Toulouse, it remains a global leader in culture, cuisine, technology, and diplomacy. Its history is a powerful and complex tapestry, woven with threads of glory and tragedy, revolution and renaissance. It's a story of a nation constantly reinventing itself while fiercely holding on to its identity. The journey from the Franks to the Fifth Republic is a testament to the enduring spirit of the French people, a legacy that continues to shape our world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through French history, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the stories that made us who we are.